Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Podcast. I'm Ben, that's Josh, and we are alive and well here in the heat of the summer. I celebrated a birthday this past weekend. My brother celebrated a birthday yesterday, which only means that summer is here and means the heat is here. And according to Josh, it's been very, very hot over there in Ohio. So, Josh, tell me what's life's been like. I know there's been changes going to be happening, but that heat probably has not been changing.
Yeah, we've had 80s, I think, the last couple of days, and we're supposed to touch close to 90 tomorrow. We're gonna have some thunderstorms, so we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, I mean it's June. We're over a week into June now. It's summertime weather, so it's obviously expected. I'm gonna get to experience a lot of it starting next week when I move to day shift at work. So usually on our cruise, it'll be like 10 to 15 degrees cooler, but I'll be experiencing the heat to the fullest from here on out once summer rolls around, just doing best to stay hydrated and continue to drink water. But that's about everything that's going on over here. Yeah, dude, when it gets to like upper 90s outside, I was drinking close to 2 gallons. Like I was drinking a gallon of water and a gallon of Gatorade like every single shift. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it wasn't like I was just doing it to like make sure I wasn't getting dehydrated. I'd only pee maybe 2 times over a 12-hour shift. So it's like my body was sweating all of it out. I needed it.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I felt the heat this past weekend. You can kind of tell a little bit. I got some sunburn on my face, but we played our last regular season game this past weekend. Um, Again, against a team that should not have been even competing. They're a team that basically plays like backyard football from Serbia, and we lost in the first early in the season. We won this game, which means playoffs is around for Ben Bowden again as a coach. It's 4 years in a row. I will be heading to the playoffs with a new team this year. Um, but we are waiting to see, which is the weirdest part, Josh. And you know this as an athlete. We now have to wait because our season ended before the other teams have ended, so we have to wait to see what seed we get, which is the most painful thing because you can't really plan anything right now. You're kind of just in the limbo. You know, either we face my old team for the first round or you face a different team. So, yeah, it's been full of joys. It's my last week of school this week. So I might look a little exhausted. That's because generally I am like dealing with so many different things, but we are here alive and well. And speaking of dealing with things, you know, I don't like to gamble my time very much, but I do know that there is some lovely gambling in the world of sports at time to time, and there seems to be something happening, Josh, and you'll lean into this, but that just seems to be happening a little bit more than it should be, and something that now is let's just say causing a stir on the slot machines in NCAA.
I can't believe it, dude. We have talked about Brendan Sorsby in this case and this situation and how it's pretty much going to mean that he's not going to play at all. And it's going to be a matter of will he go to the supplemental draft or will he just sit the year out and then get ready for the real NFL draft next. But who would have thought, Ben, that a Texas Tech judge out in Lubbock would have ruled that the NCAA has no say in this and that Sorsby's eligible. He's going to get a 2 game slap on the wrist for this whole thing, and he's going to play 10 games. And the thing about it is, gambling has always been a no-no. Now it's like, okay, Jameson Williams bet on sports that he didn't even play in, but since he did it
Hmm.
at the Detroit Lions facility, he got a 6 game. We've seen Pete Rose bet on his own teams that he was managing to go ahead and win games. And then that got him banned and not able to be in the Hall of Fame. And Sorsby's out here betting on his own team. He's betting unders on his quarterbacks to finish unders in passing yards. He's been betting like in favor sometimes, but against. And it was like well over or close to 6 figures in bets, I should say,
Hmm.
hundreds of them that he was laying out, if I remember right. And he's going to go ahead and be able to play 10 of Texas Tech's 12 games this year, regardless. And obviously, this has just unleashed a huge amount of frustration from everybody. Brett Yormark, the Big 12 AD, is going to be meeting, or the Big 12 commissioner is going to be meeting with Big 12 ADs. We have already heard ADs from Georgia and Nebraska come out and say that they are not going to play Texas Tech in any sport. And I
Hmm.
believe that Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, has also alluded to meetings with commissioners about how they're going to handle games against Texas Tech. Uh, Obviously, Texas Tech's been having a really good run in women's softball. Men's basketball team is competitive, so this is going to affect the whole entire athletic department. We've seen teams have this happen when they have a violation. They'll usually go out and do the right thing to avoid or to keep the integrity of the game in effect. Like we saw Indiana punish Kelvin Simpson,
Hmm.
basketball coach, for some illegal recruiting stuff. We've seen this from Marshall football. SMU got the death penalty for this. Like there has to be some kind of repercussions for this. And if Texas Tech is going to actively fight for Sorsby to be able to play and then not do the right thing, then everyone else seems to have taken it
They'll be
into
the
their own
most
hands. The
hated team in
NCAA,
the country.
yeah, the NCAA isn't doing anything. So now it looks like if this isn't just blowing smoke, that Texas Tech might not have any opponents on their football schedule this year. They might not have any basketball opponents or softball opponents or baseball opponents, and then they're not going to get
Hmm.
to play. And then that's going to put the university in a position where it's like, okay, we got to remove ourselves from Sorsby now, and then everything will go back to normal. But
Yeah,
it could end up being a wild west situation. We're only on Tuesday, I think it's the ninth is that as we're
yeah,
recording this, and this news just came out yesterday, and basically just you heard all kinds of takes about it, but basically everybody's just in unison that Texas Tech, like if the NCAA isn't going to punish and the university itself isn't going to punish Sorsby and remove themselves from him, and a Texas Tech judge can just come out and say, yeah, he can play, then everyone else is taking it in their own hands to make sure that justice is served. So that's kind of the situation. um, I'll go ahead and give my take after Ben goes ahead and gives his take to everything here. But
yeah,
yeah, it's a situation like we've never seen before. Betting has always been a hard no,
yeah,
and now it's just like slap on the wrist because if he got punished for it, Ben, his mental health would be affected by it, and it's in favor of his mental health to do things that he loves. That's what the
yeah.
narrative that we're hearing.
That is the narrative we're hearing, and I think you look at Jonte Porter, who literally just a year ago got indefinite suspension from the NBA. He's never allowed to play another NBA game again in his career for life. We saw Pete Rose have to die before they think about unbanning him for life so he can get into the Hall of Fame. And he did probably, I mean, yes, he did the very similar thing that Sorsby did. And in fact, probably did
There was a
less than,
quarterback from Iowa State a few years ago. There was a defensive player from Iowa that
yeah,
only bet on a Iowa women's basketball game, like a $10
yeah,
wager. He never played another down.
yeah. I mean, look
Like
at
you
Pete
go all
Rose, like,
throughout.
yeah, look at Pete Rose, like he did less than probably what Sorsby did, and yet he got literally the death penalty, and he was dead before they even considered him to be, allowed to, to have the accolades he needs to have. And I look at Sorsby, and part of it is like, you know, whether it was at Cincinnati or Indiana, it doesn't matter. Like, I hope that in his own gut, he knows the right thing to do is for him to pull himself away from the situation. He has until I believe the end of June or the middle of June, I think, to submit his name into the supplemental draft. If I am him, I am putting my name in that and I'm trying to get myself out of this situation because I'll be honest, it's not going to help him in any situation. It's NFL teams are already going to be hesitant to get him in the supplemental draft. If he goes this whole year and has other issues, there's a whole other thing. Like, yes, I know Texas Tech doesn't want to get rid of him because they're paying him $5 million,
They're
right?
paying him a
To
lot of money. That was their
Yeah,
big get in the offseason.
yeah,
They stand to be, a playoff contender again.
exactly. So for me, it's I understand if I'm in their shoes. I understand that they're hesitant, but also like this is about the game of football. This is not about a Texas Tech national championship. Because let's be honest, I don't think Texas Tech is winning a national title this year. I don't think they are. Um, it's not like you have the team that can go do it. You have a team that can compete, but maybe not go do it. But on top of that, I just think that it's the integrity of football. And if we're going to allow this, then you're going to have so many other cases where kids are going to come out that have been kicked off teams or suspended. They're going to be like, "Hey, well, this happened. Now can I counter this?" Um, I think that the NCAA does have a say. I think there is people that have a say in what happens to him because it's intercollegiate athletics. It's you literally are playing in sports with other students, with other student athletes that, you know, where's the fairness then? Right? If you're not going to allow it in the MLB, if you're not going to allow it in the NBA, or if you're not going to allow it in the NFL, if you're not going to allow it in MLS or NHL, then why are you allowing it in college football? Because that's basically what you're saying now, is that now anyone can do it. And I think it's a very, very bad look for the NCAA. I think it's a very bad look for Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is going to become an enemy of a lot of teams, a lot of people. I think, to be honest, I don't agree with Georgia on many things. And I have a buddy I work with that's from Georgia. So, shout out to Henry, go dogs, I guess. But I'm proud for them in Nebraska to stand up and say, "Hey, we're not gonna play this fiddle. You should do the right thing." And I like what you said. I think they'll end up doing something. Will it be the right thing? We'll have to wait and see. I do think there's going to be a point where one of them's going to go the other way. Either he's going to go to the supplemental draft, or they're just going to cut ties, and he's going to have to figure out what he wants to do. Um, I think there needs to be a punishment for the mistake that you made. And for him, it was he bet on his own team, and he bet the under, by the way, which is even more despicable and also just terrible in a sense. So yeah, overall, I guess my thoughts are just like, if this goes through, this is going to hurt college football, and it's like what many people have said. This is the state of college football we're in right now. You have NIL, which is a wild west. You have these kind of betting things that's causing a lot of issues. You have different things with schools that are causing issues with the teams, and so it's just the chaos we're in college football right now. And I think this needs to be stopped before it becomes something bigger.
Yeah, my whole thing with betting, like I hate how it's just infiltrated sports advertising. It's like you're just trying to watch a game and you just get constantly updated on the official ESPN bet odds presented by BetMGM. And let's go ahead to our FanDuel insider, Betty McBetsman, to go ahead and give us what DraftKings is saying is the odds. It's just ridiculous how all these leagues can make a ton of money off of it. And I've been like, I guess compassionate towards like Jameson Williams situations where it's like these guys aren't even betting on their own leagues. So why are we punishing them for that? Like obviously you got to protect the integrity of the game. If you got insider knowledge, you've
Yeah.
got ability to affect the game, you can't go ahead and place a bet on those. But if you're just you should be able to take advantage of, I guess, the money that all the other leagues are. That's like been my whole stance. So this is obviously not that. This is betting on your own sport. This is betting on your own team, and you have insider knowledge and in some cases ability to affect those games. So that's an absolute no-no. And in the process, uh, we're seeing, well, this could be the end of the NCAA's authority, Ben. Like, why do we need the NCAA at this point if they can't even enforce rules? Like, Trinidad Chambliss should be heading to the NFL draft. Instead, an Ole Miss judge is saying, nope, he can play football again. It's like, okay, whatever. I guess you just, college kids are going to play, that can't make the NFL are going to play college football forever now because of NIL money and they can extend their football career and that's just how it's going to be, whatever. But betting has always had that hard line where it's like, this is ridiculous. And if the NCAA isn't going to enforce anything, and Texas Tech also is not going to do the right thing and enforce a punishment. We'll see if this is just all smoke, but I would love to see some of these athletic directors just take them off their schedule. I would love to see the College Football Playoff Committee, which is separate from the NCAA, not vote Tech into the playoffs, even if they are undefeated and they continue to play football games with Sorsby. Like this could be a really big thing. This could be a huge opportunity for one, the rest of the Big 12, the rest of the college football landscape to, uh, you know, put their hammer down and say, all right, if you guys aren't going to do the right thing, we will. But yeah, this could lead to I mean, we saw how some of the teams hated Shedeur Sanders in Colorado, and they would take some big hits, dude. And I mean, Sorsby's
Yeah.
going to take some cheap shots if he's on a football field playing games. This will get handled one way or another, but as a matter of if Texas Tech's going to be playing football games and eligible, for all these other things, we'll see. But yeah, it's shocking, and I hope that something comes about this. I would love to see all the rest of the college football landscape band together and say, yeah, we're not going to play you guys in literally anything. So force them to actually do the right thing.
I mean, it's like they always say, right? You lay in your own whatever, make your own bed, lay in your bed that you make or whatever.
Make your bed
And
and sleep in it.
yeah, I mean that's what he's done. So he can't complain. It's on him now. So for me, that's kind of where I'm at, I guess, with all of that. So yeah, I mean, it's like you said, man. Like there just needs to be someone in charge. Like someone's got to be the one that's saying what to do because right now it's just a bunch of weird rules in a book that we're trying to follow instead of someone saying, hey, these are the decisions that need to be made for the betterment of the student athlete, right? This is not just about uh, money as much as we say it is. It's literally about the fact that there are student athletes that are suffering because of decisions being made by an individual, and that's the sad part.
Hmm. I don't really have
Truly
anything
is.
else to add to that. I mean,
No,
that's
neither
the
me.
situation, my take on it, and we'll continue to get some development on that, hopefully, as we hear some of these meetings from conferences and ADs. We'll hopefully have more of an update next week. But yeah, this came as a shock yesterday. We were going to headline the show with some MLB All-Star selections because voting just started for that. But yeah, got this thrown in here. Crazy story, crazy surprise. So definitely had to go ahead and address that. It's been all over my social media feeds, at least everybody sharing their opinions on it, but it all basically seems to be in alignment that something's got to be done,
Yeah.
that he shouldn't be playing football. But yeah, as far as the baseball all-star selections go, Ben, I got a team together over the last couple days. Some of the positions were harder to choose from than others. I think, and you can agree with me or disagree. I think the National League outfield was the hardest to select. And outfield is it's tough because it's just you're picking three outfielders. You're not picking like a left, a center, and a right. You're just
Yeah.
picking the three best outfielders, and it's always a deep position. But especially in the National League this year, I was just like, man, there's like maybe six guys that got like real legitimate cases to start, and I did my best to pick the three that I thought, had the best case. But we can go ahead and start with the American League, I think, because I think that was a little easier to get through. It's the league that has, all the teams that aren't winning that many games. So we can go ahead and start in the American League if you
I would love if the
want.
Reds were in that freaking American League so we can actually
Yeah,
make the
I
playoffs.
I tried to pick some. I tried to go and try to make a case with some Cleveland guys, but I just couldn't do it. This isn't the year.
I
I think we'll have some selections,
yeah.
but as far as
I
starters go, I don't think it's in the cards
I
right
say
now.
let's start position players. Let's go position players and then go pitchers at the end.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
I
agree. So we'll
I
start.
will
We'll
say
go
this.
around the we'll go
Catchers,
around
by the
the
way,
infield.
catchers I do want to point out is that in the American League, like it must be a Cleveland Guardian like festival because there's literally only like five of them with above a 250 freaking batting average. So it must be a Cleveland Guardian um, festival that they're hosting.
Well, even the guys that like crushed it last year, like Kyle Raleigh, they just aren't
Sucks.
doing that this year. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not good. So
No.
uh, go ahead and pull up the numbers right now. I think
Yeah.
that catcher was a pretty easy choice for me, Ben. You got to go with Shea Langoliers, right?
No, I'm
Oakland
kidding.
A's,
I'm not going with him.
Sacramento A's.
I'm not going with him. Um, Actually, I am. I actually was going to go Dingler for a second, but then I realized that no, and I looked up and I went, no, he's not even close. No, I think Dingler has a chance to be the backup catcher. I think him and Basallo, which is funny that
Sam
Baltimore
Basayo. Hmm.
with Basallo, it's interesting because obviously you had Rauchman or right Rauchman, no
Adley, yep.
Adley, who was supposed to be the dude who's kind of turned out to be a dud in a sense. Basallo's come in there and kind of taken that starting job. So I think it's going to be a battle between those two for kind of that backup catcher role in the American League, as well as Savio Perez, because even though Perez is only hitting 204, there's just something about they do this with the 38-year-olds. They just give them a random,
The
call
legends
up. Yeah, the
of the
legends
game.
call up. But a sneaky guy that I'm actually saying that might sneak in there as a backup is, believe it or not, I was trying to look through this, is, you know, Ryan Jeffers might slip in him. He's hitting almost 300. Like I know he's only played 37 games, but there's still that. But yeah, Shane Langoliers, I mean, that dude is just raking, like honestly raking. Does strike out a lot, but again, he gets on base, and that's the important part, I think, as a catcher.
Yeah, yeah. 2.8 WAR, 891 OPS. He's got 17 homers, 35 runs driven in, batting 285. The strikeouts are there, but again, and usually with the power, that's what comes with it is the strikeouts too. Adley and Basayo could be interesting. Adley's got one more hit. Basayo's got one more home run. So
And I think Basayo
Adley,
might be doing more DHing than Adley. So
they're both playing pretty consistently because Adley's
yeah,
got 48 games in, Basayo's got 55 in. They both got 1.5 WAR.
yeah,
Both hitting 267, 266. So their names will be in the mix. Again, this is like all fan voted the starters at least, but I think Shea
yeah,
Langoliers has the best case right now to be the starter,
yeah.
far
Yeah,
and away.
I think first base is one of those interesting ones for the American League because it's always
This
seems
was the
like
hardest one
yeah,
for
it's
me.
always seems like in American League you have a bunch of dudes with a bunch of RBIs, and so for instance, I'm going to kind of read down this from the
Well,
eighth. from the eighth spot, if you look at like just a lot of these guys, Jake Berger has 38 RBIs. Aranda has 45 RBIs. Contreras has 39 RBIs. Alonso has 41. Kurtz has 48. Walker has 48. Ben Rice has 45. Murakami has 41. That's just like eight dudes that have a lot of RBIs and some home runs to go with it. So that's a very interesting case along these lines. And I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I'm interested to hear where you're going.
Yeah, I know where I'm going also. There was some guys though where it was just like, all right, first off, Ben Rice is the right choice, but there's guys like Nick Kurtz, there's guys like Munetaka Murakami. Vlad Jr. is a
And you have all
personal fan
Japan
favorite of mine.
following. You literally have Japan following Murakami. So you got to remember that's also a part of it.
Yeah, but bottom line, when you look through here, Ben Rice is leading first base in the American League in batting average. First off, he's leading them in OPS right now, the only one over 1,000. He's got
Doubles,
2.5 WAR. That leads all the American League first basemen. Actually not. Nick Kurtz leads all the American League with he's got half WAR more, but Ben Rice is just dominating so many metrics right
doubles,
now.
triples.
Yeah, like there's a lot of guys that uh you hope are all stars, but Rice is like the right choice. Like I'd love to
Yes.
see Murakami and Kurtz on there. Jonathan Aranda is another one, but Ben Rice I think is the right choice.
Yeah. And Murakami, he is hurt right now. He does have like he has the same injury that De La Cruz has, which drives me insane. Ugh, still drives me insane. But no, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ben Rice here as well. The numbers are just like the thing is, I could go Nick Kurtz as well because I mean the dude's got a 430 on base percentage. He's got a 955 OPS when Ben Rice is a 1041. But I look at Ben Rice and he's just been so consistent. Like he's been the one bright spot I think in that Yankees team. And Murakami I think is going to get in just because of like him being a rookie that's doing really well and also being the Japanese
Yeah, I
All-Star
think
as he is.
I think he'll have a spot.
Yeah, he'll get in there. But I will say this, and I'm going to say this: do not be shocked if Murakami somehow gets the starting job because of Japan, because literally
Exactly.
just the country of Japan votes him in. So
Yeah.
be ready for that. Don't be shocked if he ends up getting that starting nod, even though he's not hitting amazing when it comes to average on base. But he's just a freak. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go with first base.
Second base,
Easy, not even close. Is
Ernie Clement.
that what you put?
That was my pick.
Yeah, I
But
went. I did go Ernie Clement, um, because I someone told me today I should choose Jazz Chisholm. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to choose a guy who struck out 72 times and has an on base percentage of
I was gonna
304.
say like the typical stars like Altuve and Chisholm and
Struggling.
Gleyber Torres, they're all having down years. And I was even gonna try and make the case for Bazana, but he's just been cold the last couple series. Like percentage wise, I think Bazana's lining up pretty close with some of these guys, but I mean Clement's leading All American League second baseman in hits right now, in RBIs. I think he's got the highest OPS also for
Yeah,
qualified second baseman at 801. He's also got a 1.5 WAR to go with that. Playing really good overall. I mean, Clement's a utility guy, but he's been playing second base for Toronto this season, so I went with Clement there. But
I did as
I
well.
think that Cole Young from Seattle uh, isn't hitting as good, but the
I think
defense has
Peraza
been a
as
little better.
well.
He's got a case.
Oswald Peraza.
Peraza
Oswald,
from the
yeah,
Angels, Duran from Rangers, all could see their names in the mix there. But yeah, I went with Clement. Third base now. For the first time in a while, I haven't gone with Jose Ramirez here.
I
I
agree with you.
rolled with,
His average is killing him in this. That's
well,
what's hurting
just
him.
hitting overall. Like, I mean, 10 home runs. The 23 stolen bases is crazy, though. I think that far and away is crushing amongst third basemen.
Oh, it is.
So
Yeah,
he's contributing in other areas. He's also got the 2.3 WAR, which ranks pretty high. If I'm not mistaken, it is second among American League third basemen. But bottom line, Ben, I rolled with Junior Caminero over here. I think he's been actually playing some of the best third base in the American League. And Miguel Vargas is going to have some votes on this too. And Okamoto will probably have Japan behind him. But Caminero, 14 home runs, 30 runs driven in. He's got 873 OPS. He's slugging almost 500 right now, the 1.6 WAR to go with that. Been loving Junior Caminero, and that's who I decided to go with.
I was going to go with him, but then I'm tired of just copying you. So I'm going to go with Miguel Vargas because he was also close in my choosing. And also, he has 41 RBIs. He leads all third basemen in home runs, RBIs. He leads on in walks. And he's second in stolen bases.
He's
Um,
got more WAR. I
yeah,
mean,
got
yeah,
more
Vargas has
WAR.
just as good of a case as Caminero right
On
now.
base and slugging is pretty much the same. Averages 30 points lower, but still, I mean, he's hitting the ball really well. And then part of it is like you could flip a coin with those two, and I think either one people would be okay with. But
Hmm.
you do have the Chicago fan base, which I think might squeak him over the Tampa Bay fan base.
Yeah, we'll see. Um, Moving on to shortstop now.
Talk about terrible averages, by the way, generally in the shortstops this year.
Yeah, usually it's not bad, even with the push for home runs lately. But yeah, you gotta let me go ahead and check here, rank these guys. I mean, by batting average, McGonigal leads them all among qualified shortstops at 291. Rocchio from Cleveland's been hitting 284, but I decided to go with Bobby Witt, man. The glove is just been incredible over there. He's been basically the only thing exciting for Kansas City to watch at this point. Leads all the American League shortstop in WAR 3.7. A lot of that is because of how good he is with that
He's the new
defense.
Mike Trout, by the way. Signed with a really bad team for like 12
For a
years.
long time, yeah, they got a really good contract there. Uh, Witt's Witt's offense is a little down, I think, from what we're used to seeing. He does have 9 home runs. He does, I think, lead shortstops in total hits. He's hitting 280, which is totally respectable. He's got 17 doubles, which I think
23
is
stolen
also
bases.
first. Yes. But McGonigal is going to have himself a nice case, I think, over in Detroit. Rocchio could have himself a case in Cleveland, but I think Witt's just doing so much. Has like the best balance of them all, offensively and defensively, power and contact. You got to go with Bobby Witt.
Yeah, I'm going Bobby Witt as well. I just think Bobby Witt is having a year, like you said, not an amazing year. I mean, Colson Montgomery has 16 home runs, but I mean, he's atrocious with an average on base percentage. Same with Zach Neto, just not doing the same as what. And the one thing you can always count on with Bobby Witt is he's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases. He might not be he might not be slugging the way he used to, or at least he's done in the past couple of years. But he's also going to play almost every game. Like he's not going to sit out. Um, so yeah, for me, Bobby Witt was pretty easy to choose here.
Move on to the outfield now, and I don't
Are
know
we
about
going
you.
outfield or are we going left field? Or do we going to go left field, center field, right
We're
field,
gonna
just to
do
kind
it
of give
like
one
how they
each one?
vote. We're gonna do it how they vote and just go three outfield.
Oh, gross. I hate that now.
That's
'Cause that
that's
makes
why it's
that
hard. That's
makes
why
it
I was saying that's why it's hard because it's not like you're choosing among left fielders and right fielders and center fielders. You're just choosing the three best outfielders, and they
well,
just kind
you're
of
annoying.
put them
It's
wherever
annoying.
you want. Uh, I was gonna say though, Aaron Judge, we just found out this week or at the end of last week, he's out till
He's not
August.
making mine. He's not making mine.
Yeah, I'm not voting for him either. He won't be able to play in the game. He won't be able to play, like I said, until August. So I'm not gonna waste a vote on him, although the production is totally there.
Pause before you go. Can we talk about the fact that Byron Buxton has 18 home runs and 28 RBIs? He's doing the Alfonso Soriano season when he was with the Nationals when he had 45 home runs and 88 RBIs. I'm just saying
He
it's
also
quite impressive.
has less games than most of these guys too. He
Yes,
has 55 games in. But
quite
speaking of Byron
impressive.
Buxton, he's in my outfield. I put him
Stop
there.
it. Stop it.
He's up. He's got almost two WAR, Ben. He's up there in home runs. Like, let me go ahead and check where he ranks among. He leads all the outfielders in home runs now. He's ahead of
Yes,
Judge
I
over
know,
there.
Dad. I know. I
I
said
know,
dad.
Dad. Oh my
I
gosh.
said
Yes. So
dad. Sorry.
with Byron Buxton is always going to come a little lower of a batting average, a little higher of a strikeout rate, but the glove, the speed, the power is just it's the athleticism is undeniable, and Buxton's one of my picks. I also had to go with
Mike Trout?
Mike Trout.
No, you
Mike
didn't.
Trout
Are
is
you
back.
serious?
I went with Mike Trout.
He's hitting 222.
Mike Trout is hitting 222, but somehow is still fifth in WAR at 2.3. He's got his pop in his bat with 14 home runs and 31 runs driven in. So yeah, I'm usually a guy that would prefer
Oh
batting average to
my.
be higher. But I mean, there's guys like Randy Rosarena that are hitting higher. There's guys like Rafaela from Boston that are hitting higher. But I went with Trout. Maybe a little bit of that is just this is a legend that we thought we lost, and now he's back and producing close to how he used to
Josh
be
just wants his
before.
childhood to come back.
Sometimes that would be cool. But then my last pick for the outfield was Cody Bellinger, who leads all American League outfield in WAR at 3.6, who also is having some nice pop to his bat. The 9 home runs is a little lower among all the outfielders, but as far as the run driving in, Bellinger's got 43 RBIs. That leads all American League outfield. He's also got an 847 OPS, and he plays a good left field for New York. So Bellinger, Trout, and Buxton's who I decided to go with, Ben. And I know like the Trout pick I think is potentially controversial, but I'm definitely standing business on Bellinger and Buxton being out there.
So I have Riley Green in my outfield. Riley Green's got, yeah, he only has 6 home runs, only 29 RBIs, but dude, that OPS is 844. His on base percentage is almost 400. He's 300 average. He leads, I think, yeah, he does lead all outfielders in the American League in average.
And
He's
he's
got
also
16
tied for first in
doubles.
strikeouts.
Yeah, 16 doubles. Yeah, strikeout. Yeah, okay,
That's
Mr.
always been a part of
222.
Riley Green's game
Oh
too. Riley
gosh.
Green has always had a high strikeout
Yeah,
rate.
Barry Bonds also struck out a lot, and yet he was always in there as well. Um, so Riley Green makes it. Cody Bellinger makes it as well for me. I love Cody the way he's kind of just slowly, quietly, ever since that 191 season he had, what, 6 years ago. He's
Yeah.
slowly come back to that rookie of the year player he once was. And then I kind of had to figure out where am I going to go with this last one. I kind of went back and forth as you were talking. I had Tyler Soderstrom in there for a little bit, just from just kind of the production was okay. He walks a lot. Taylor Ward, by the way, walks 57 times, which is crazy. But I ended up deciding to go with Byron Buxton. Just couldn't put Mike Trout. I think for me with Mike Trout, it's just the average just really bothers me. And the fact that he's so inconsistent at times still, even though he's good this year, he's still very inconsistent. Byron Buxton, he's healthier this year, so I will give him that. But the 28 RBIs is just funny in my brain.
It's like get Minnesota's got to get him some runners out there, man. It's
Yeah,
like if you're gonna
Jesus
have a guy that's gonna
Christmas.
hit home runs and nobody's driving in, it's like, man, you're telling me only he's only driven in 10 people that aren't himself. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
All right, DH I think was a really easy pick for me. I don't know about you, sir, but his name rhymes with Jordan Galvarez.
Yeah, it's not even close. I mean, I will say, okay, I will say, Yandy Diaz is having an absolute banger of a year. It's just not
I
what Jordan
know
Alvarez is having. Like,
Jordan Alvarez, man.
can I
I
put
think
Yandy
like
Diaz at first base because that's basically what he plays when he's not DHing? I
yeah.
mean,
I think we
goodness.
can say like screw like just looking at designated hitter period. Jordan Alvarez leads all the American League in OPS. He leads all the American League in home runs, and he's tied for all the American League in RBIs. And he
Yeah.
also is second, only behind Ben Rice in slugging percentage. Like just the metrics are for the whole entire American League, he's absolutely crushing it all around. Like
After a
Jordan
down year
has to
last
be
year, after kind of a
well,
down year last year, a little
he
bit.
had all the injuries last year. Like that's
Yeah.
been the thing about this guy is he going to be out on the field? And before the season started, and we did our like top 10 pitchers and our top 10 position players, like Jordan didn't make my cut because I was like, I'm not confident that he's going to be available. Like,
Yeah.
of course, if he's playing, at least 130, 140 games, you're going to put him there. But he just hadn't been doing that lately, and we're seeing it this year, and all the production's there. It's like, yeah, this guy hasn't missed a step.
Yeah. So for me, Jordan Alvarez does get the DH spot for sure.
I don't think fans vote on pitchers, but did you have a pitcher that you'd like to see start in the American
Um,
League?
I just for me, yeah, I just have one for the. Let me pull this up here. Um, where is my stats? There it is. Yeah, for me it was pretty I thought it's pretty easy for me. I think the starter should be. Will it be? First off, I'm so mad at the Reds because they got rid of Nick Martinez and he's having a freaking career year. He's probably gonna make the All-Star team. But I'm gonna go with Cam Schlittler. I don't know how to say that.
Jeez. Schlittler, baby,
Schlittler. Apologize, mom
who
and
leads
dad.
all American League starting pitchers in ERA, WHIP, and WAR.
Yeah. Hey, mom, dad, I'm sorry. That literally, if you look up his name, mom, I guarantee you would say it's the same way as I said it.
Very hard. I
Um,
remember when he initially came up in some of the baseball shows I listened to. We're having a tough time with that one too.
yeah. So him, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with him. Nick Martinez again, another guy who I'm again the Reds once didn't decide to pay, and then he does this stuff. So that's kind of crazy there. But I think that gives the national team time.
Yeah. We'll go over to the National League now. And like I said, some of the selections over here I had a pretty tough time with just because the National League's been the overall deeper league. But we'll go ahead in the same order here and start with the infield and then move to the outfield and go DH. So we'll start at catcher, which was one of the easier ones, I think, out of the National League for me to decide. I don't know about you, but
Yeah,
Drake Baldwin from Atlanta.
yeah. I that was the easy one of the easiest ones I could have decided for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
Drake
guy's
Baldwin's easy. Hunter Goodman, I will give
crushing
him
it at the
credit
bat.
though. Goodman, I will give him credit. He's had a good year as well, so
Yeah,
he's up there as
Goodman,
well.
Liam Hicks from the Marlins also has been hitting pretty good. Uh, but yeah, Baldwin right now, I think the 2.6 WAR leads all National League catchers. He's hitting 303. Not a lot of power with just 6 home runs, but he does have 42 driven in. Has a 931 OPS. So, or actually, no, excuse me, I read the wrong name. Baldwin's got 13 homers and 38
Yeah.
RBIs. He does have some pop. I was going to say that doesn't sound right, but yeah, he's got some pop to his bat, 931 OPS. Very easy choice for Baldwin. And then, like you said, Goodman and I think Liam Hicks are going to have some consideration as reserves. But yeah,
Yeah.
first base,
First base, man.
another deep position.
This is tough for me. I will say this is a chance where if let's say De La Cruz is out for the Reds for let's say they say he can't play in the All-Star game, this might be the spot where you see Sal Stewart go, not as a starter, but as like a
Yeah.
bench player, because I think that's a guy that, by the way, who's having a great year as a rookie, who, by the way, early Rookie of the Year candidate is Sal Stewart. But I'm going to go with first base. Pretty easy for me. I'm going Matt Olson. I mean, Matt Olson has been raking. Got an 877 OPS, leading in home runs, leading in RBIs for first baseman, leading in doubles. Strikes out a lot more than I think we were used to him, at least recently. But that's kind of who I like there in that spot.
Yeah, when you look at all the first baseman statistics, I mean it is a deep position. You got Olson, you got Bryce Harper, you got Freddie Freeman, you got Burleson from St. Louis, you got Stewart from the Reds, but at the top of almost all of these, you just see Matt Olson over and over and over again. And home runs, RBIs, WAR are three of those. He's second in OPS. He is first in slugging. The guy just is been a model of consistency. You can count on him to play every single day. So Olson's who I went with. It is a deep position, but as far as like who's at the top, it's like Olson's at the top, like almost all these, and plays a great glove at first base. So got to go with Matt Olson.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think it's funny with if we look at second base because I think it's funny because two of the guys that I was thinking about choosing, both have combined for 8 home runs on the year, which is less than what most guys have.
This is
But
one I'm
yeah,
curious who you pick because I could
yeah.
see Luis Arraez, Xavier Edwards, Ozzy Albies, Bryce Terang, Ketel Marte, Brandon Lau, JJ Weatherholt
Oh, this
all
is easy for
competing
me.
for this spot.
This is easy. Luis Arraez. I mean, the dude is yes, he only has 2 home runs. But the dude has walked more than he's struck out. He's only struck out 13 times. Let me just clarify that for people. He's got 253 plate appearances or at bats, and he's struck out 13 times. That is wild. He also is hitting 324, a 360 on base percentage, 431 slugging, 791 OPS. I have Luis Arraez. I think he deserves it. He has not been an all-star starter. He deserves it. Just the way he plays the game. He plays it the old school way. I like it. But I also could see why someone would put Lau or Terang as well.
Yeah, Rise has been like our modern day Tony Gwynn, I guess, low strikeout
Yeah.
rate, but you'd like to see the walk rate be a little higher. You'd like to see it be a single more often than not a single, but the glove has been better this year too at second base, which has been a criticism of his game lately. But yeah, Arise is who I would have gone with second. I decided to go with Bryce Terang though for my starter. The
Yeah.
guy that's leading National League second baseman in WAR, in OPS, and in RBIs, plus has been a Platinum Glove defender. Like you know, you're gonna have a good glove from him. Like I said, there's a lot of names in consideration here. Ketel Marte is one that I think has been a little more underwhelming this year. Little down, more of a down year for him. But like we said, Lau has been solid this year, and uh, there's been a lot in, and Weatherholt's been an exciting rookie, but yeah, I think it comes down to a two-horse race between Terang and Arise, and depending on what you value, you could go one way or another. But I decided to go with Terang.
Yeah, third base is an interesting one because we have another Alfonso Soriano version of Max Muncy who has 14 home runs and 22 RBIs, which is even worse than the Buxton stat. Um, but for me, like one, Nolan Arenado was very tempting because he's having like a rebound year because he's had a couple rough years. We're looking a little bit like the old Arenado, but Matt Chapman, his power is basically gone for some reason. Alex Bregman's power has basically disappeared.
He's left a lot of runners
Alec
stranded too.
Alec Bohm,
Bregman
his
has.
powers basically disappeared. Bo Bichette's powers basically disappeared. Nolan Gorman's powers basically disappeared. Manny Machado is playing absolutely atrocious this year. He's hitting 166. So for me, this was easy. It's Max Muncy because the rest of the group is just bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through and I was just like initially I went in I was like, okay, there's got to be somebody. Max Muncy's the name I had in my mind. And then I was looking at the numbers and I was like, wow. I mean, like, yeah, Max Muncy's hitting 258. He's got 22 RBIs with the 14 home runs, like we said, which is crazy because the Dodgers, you'd think have guys on base for him. But
Yeah,
I mean, they got guys, plenty of guys that hit home runs. So maybe there's a lot more empty infields out there than what you'd expect. But yeah, I think you got to go with Max Muncy over here for sure. Uh, Leading third baseman in home runs, leading third baseman in WAR. Uh, like we said, Machado's actually second in home runs with 11, but he's hitting 166, and there's no one else that has double-digit home runs at that position. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy that
Uh,
that's the third base selection
now
right here. Oh, also, we just said all that about Muncy with the RBIs. He is 11th among National League third basemen in runs driven in. Can you believe that?
I know it's wild to me. Um, here's the more wild thought though, Josh. Look at shortstop. Shortstop is an interesting one because there's a lot of guys that are kind of on that same level, right? There's, Ellie De La Cruz is not still on the as many bases, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is because Ellie is a guy who has shown now in the last 5 games he's missed, the Reds are absolutely atrocious. The Reds have lost 6 in a row. They're 2-7 since he went on the IL. I always view as a all-star starter should be someone that when you miss them, they truly are felt. And I think Ellie De La Cruz is felt. Yes, he strikes out the most out of all shortstops outside of Willie Adames. He doesn't walk a ton, but he does get on base, and he has been hitting the ball a lot better from the right side of the plate. And I think just the glove has been so much better. I think Josh can agree with me on this. His glove has been phenomenal this year, and he's got a cannon of an arm, and could be a center fielder in the future. But for me, Ellie De La Cruz is just the guy that I have to go with here. He just, as long as he gets healthy again, if he gets hurt more, then obviously you put someone else in there.
Yeah, if we had a healthy Ellie, I think he would have been the choice for me too. Otto Lopez has also been a fun guy to watch this year. Uh, this guy isn't good at defense, which is important at the shortstop position, but I rolled with CJ Abrams. As far as the batting stats go, he's right there at the top with Ellie and Lopez in a lot of these, but he's the guy that leads the shortstops in home runs. He's the guy that leads the shortstops in RBIs. He's the guy that leads shortstops in OPS, and he is second only to Lopez among shortstops in WAR. Uh, the thing that we know about Abrams is like he usually is starts off hot and then cools off in the second half. So as a season, we'll see how he continues to do. But as far as like the production in the first half, it's been pretty tough for me to ignore. But I do think if Ellie had been playing up to this point, that he would have been a lot closer in this, and maybe even would have been my pick. But rolling with Abrams right now, since he's the healthy guy, but also just a little more production offensively.
No, I get that, I don't fault you for that either.
We'll go with outfield. This was the hardest one for me, so I'm going to go ahead and let you tell them your three outfielders since I led with the American League outfielders last time.
I mean, it also means he's trying to still figure it out. For for me, this is interesting because I just also looked at O'Neal Cruz, who's having a career year, 21 stolen bases, 14 home runs, 44 RBIs. But I mean, dude, there's like guys in like the 20th percentile down here I could put in as the starter.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
Marsh is like leading in batting
I
average, but
know.
not a whole lot of other things. And Cruz is like the flashy,
And
just hits
Jung
missiles.
Ho Lee, who's come out of
Jung Hoo
nowhere to
Lee's got
like,
the most four-hit games, I
yeah,
think, this year.
to be like an
So there's
actual
like some
like,
random ones like that where it's like, man, and then Pete Crow Armstrong's got the defense, but the bat's just been down. So it's like,
yeah,
man,
dude. And then you look at Fernando Tatis, he's only got a 661 OPS, but yet
and only
he
one
has,
home run, I think.
yeah, which he still would be a guy that I would consider. James Wood for sure. That's just he's a freak. He's been hitting the ball like crazy. He leads all outfielders in home runs. Um, Andy Pajes leads in RBIs. I think that's just an easy one for me. And I'm gonna go Jung Ho Lee. I think this dude deserves the detention. He got so much fanfare when he came over from Korea, and everyone was talking about this guy and how great he was. And I really want to give him the nod here. But now that I'm thinking about it, and one name just popped out of my head as I'm doing this, is Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker is absolutely annihilating the ball. I'm mainly saying against the Reds because he had like 4 home runs in 3 games. So actually, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go Jordan Walker, but I will say Jung Hoo Lee would be my fourth one.
The three that you picked are also my three, Ben. I rolled with James Wood, Andy Pajes, and Jordan Walker also. But
Look at
the guy that
us.
was hardest for me to leave out, you just mentioned Lee, so I'll go ahead and make the case for the guy that was hardest for me to leave out, and that was Corbin Carroll. Because Corbin Carroll, right now, Ben, is amongst National League outfielders, fourth in WAR. He is second in OPS. He's one of the most electric players because the triples, he's got 8 triples, which far and away like leads over there. He's also got a solid average at 285 to go with it. He's third in doubles. Like the guy just he can hit for power too. He's got 10 home runs. He's got 31 runs driven in. Like just one of the more exciting players in baseball that you'd love to see in the starting lineup. But like you said, James Wood and Andy Pajes and Jordan Walker, they've just been I think just a little bit better. And they've also, all in their own right, have been, crushing it too. You mentioned James Wood, one of the best hitters, period, in all baseball right now. And I think Pajes has been that. I think Pajes plays a really good glove too. And so because of that, leads National League outfielders in WAR. And then Walker, I think, is the one that's been breaking out because I think he came
He
into the
really
league last
struggled.
year.
The last 2 years, he's been up and down the last 2 years and has
Was gonna
really
say I can't
struggled.
remember if it was last year or the year
Yeah,
before, but yeah, he
he's
made
really
his
struggled.
debut 2023, so this is going on year 4 for him, and yeah, second halves tended to dip off. Like he hit 201 and 215 the last 2 seasons. He's gone up and down a little bit, but I think he's finally figured it out, and he's hitting 303 with 16 home runs, 47 driven in. He's got the 922 OPS, so I think
If you're
Jordan
the
Walker
Cardinals,
might
man,
be
you got to
here to stay.
lock him up.
Oh
Cardinals,
yeah, dude.
you've traded away a lot of guys. You need to lock him and Weather hold up if you're the Cardinals,
Him,
because the Reds,
Weatherholt, Burleson, they got
yes,
a nice
because the
squad.
Reds. I'm sorry, we will not lock up Sal Stewart. They said it's just not the right time. I'm sorry, Cincinnati Reds fans. Correction, Ellie De La Cruz is leaving in 3 years, so you got to get someone in there. So lock up Sal
Yeah.
Stewart. Goodness gracious, Reds. Gosh, it's killing me. Anyways, moving
We
on
do have
to
one more
DH.
position in the National League though, and that's designated hitter.
Are we really going to debate this? Is this really going to even be a conversation?
Well, let me make the conversation here
Oh, geez.
because Kyle Schwarber is hitting 238, which is way below the 302 Shohei Ohtani is hitting, but Schwarber's leading the National League in home runs with 23 compared to Shohei's 11. He's
Also
got
leading in
40 driven
strikeouts.
in, 40 driven in compared to the 35 from Ohtani, and yes, the 96 strikeouts. It might be more than anybody in baseball, period. I'd have to check that, but uh, the OPSs are neck and neck
That guy could
at
have been a red too, dude. If they would have just
yeah.
paid $5 more million, that would have been a red this year. Gosh.
Yeah, I actually I put in the lineup. I put Schwarber like slash Otani because I was unsure when I was putting this together 3 days ago. But
Otani could be the
uh,
pitcher, though. That's the thing. He
Otani could
could
be
be
in the
the starting
National League,
pitcher.
could be on as a pitcher too, which is kind of why I was leaning. Like, you know what, Otani's already going to be on as like a reserve DH or a pitcher. So I was trying to figure out if I could get Schwarber in as a starter. But I think Schwarber will have a spot on the roster just because the power numbers are there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go with Shohei at
Shohei, baby.
DH.
And I'm going to go with Mizorowski from Brewers as my starting pitcher.
Yeah, that was a serious consideration for me because National League Cy Young race is so tight right now.
Dude,
But
Chase
for
Burns, man. Freaking Reds. Actually got a
yeah,
pitcher in it.
I decided to go with Christopher Sanchez, the guy that just allowed 0 earned runs in the month of May. But him and Mizorowski are like Mizorowski's at a
They're like neck
1.5
and
ERA
neck.
after his last start, which is slightly better than Sanchez's 1.4. Uh, right now, Mizorowski has 116 Ks compared to Sanchez 113. Mizorowski the .81 WHIP compared to Sanchez 106. So Mizorowski probably has the better overall case right now, and he had a heck of a month of May himself. I think he only allowed 1 run that month, but yeah, him and Sanchez and I mean Burns, I think, are the three that you'd be looking through as your picks. But yeah, I decided to roll Sanchez. Mizorowski for an All-Star game though has the stuff that I think you'd want to see. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sanchez has
yeah,
been
for sure.
unhittable too.
Yeah. It's interesting to see who's going to be, but yeah, those are all-star game picks. Let us know in the comments who did we get wrong, who did we get right, and what would you be, or who would you put in your case scenario for this little project, as we would say. But yeah, I think that's what I got today. Do you got anything else, sir?
I think we got to definitely update on the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, which
It's just no one can win at home.
yeah, after the Knicks took the first two at San Antonio, I decided to look it up and see if there'd ever been an NBA Finals champion that won by sweep and also won their conference finals by sweep. And at least according to what Wikipedia has on there, there has never been a team to do that. There's been some that have lost one game at one or the other. I think maybe three of them, but there's never been. So I was like, this could be interesting. And then the Spurs just won game three at the Garden. So it's like, okay, well, never mind that. But President Trump being there, I think made more headlines than the Knicks actually losing the game, uh, as he tends to be. You know, with there's players complaining about the extra security. There was people in the media complaining about the extra traffic with Secret Service and everything like that, and even debate on whether or not he's a Knicks fan or not. But it's like Trump was born in New York. There's
He,
photos from like every single decade of him being
yeah,
courtside when he was a celebrity, like before he even got into politics. Like that's
like
a
he
stupid
even
argument.
like he was like friends with like the Steinbrenners of the Yankees. It's like when people question his Yankee fandom, I'm like, dude, the dude lived in New York City for so many years.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just let him have his man. Let him have his team, man. We never questioned Barack Obama. We don't question the Pope being a White Sox fan. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so that's where we're at with the NBA Finals right now. I'm still leaning like a Knicks win, like I initially picked. I can't remember. I think you went with Spurs. I don't
I
remember how
did,
many
and
games,
I'm
but are you
regretting it.
feeling
It's
differently about it?
yes, I'm regretting it because anytime I pick a freaking team in this playoffs, it's just stupid.
Well, like we
S-
said, there's the winning on your home court has been tough, and Game 4 will be tomorrow at 8:30, and we'll see if this happens again. But I mean, the Spurs could go back to San Antonio tied up 2-2. That's what you'd hope. And then it's like, anybody's series from there. But the Knicks have just been so dominant lately, dude. Like we saw them sweep the Cavs. The game two was a 1 point win, and then game one was a 10 point win. So I think the Spurs are definitely competing better than anybody that the Knicks have faced up to this point. But
yeah,
I still think the Knicks are the better team and are going to come out with that series win.
yeah.
Did you hear about that Stanley Cup game three
I
and
heard about
how
it.
so we saw, I think it was, we saw a, let me go ahead. Friend of the program, Andrew Yunt, and I have been messaging back and forth about the Stanley Cup, basically because we don't know anybody else that cares about the Stanley Cup, but also because he's a Carolina fan. I got to find the numbers that he sent me over here, like all the firsts. Um, game three being historic. Okay, so this was, let's see, the first two Vegas goals came off the board from coaches' challenges. Uh, and then Marner got the fastest hat trick in Stanley Cup history. He got 3 goals in just over 6 minutes. Uh, became the first player in NHL history to record 4 points in a period. And then the Hurricanes set a record for the fastest 3 goals by one team in a Stanley Cup. They got three in 39 seconds, Ben. So yeah, they're they became the first or they became just the second team in NHL history to erase a four-goal deficit in a Stanley Cup final game. Of course, they still ended up losing in double overtime. Vegas took it, but right now, as it stands, Vegas leads 2-1. Game four is tonight, and this series has been fun to watch so far. Game one, Vegas won 5-4 in regulation. Then game two, Hurricanes won in overtime by one, and then yeah, Vegas just won 5-4 again in double
That's
overtime.
wild.
Yeah, so definitely I hope that this series goes on because game six and seven, I'm off work and I'm wanting to watch those. Every other time, I'm just like, they're scheduled on my shifts and I go into work tonight after this. So it's like, okay, just keep playing some good hockey so I can come on and watch some of this because
Yeah, yeah,
it'd
yeah.
suck if I went zero Stanley Cup final games.
That is true. It would suck. It would
Yeah.
suck. Um, but yeah, I think that covers all the main topics. The World Cup is starting this week. It's starting on Thursday. So we will give an update next week on what's been happening if the USA is absolutely sucking and
Hey, I'm
they're not
hearing
in it
that
anymore.
England can't handle the American heat.
That's why I heard Norway down in North Carolina, Norwegians are literally like dying on the fields. I'm like, it's not even that hot yet, guys. Wait until like another 2 weeks.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. The World Cup has always been in the summer, and sometimes in some of these hotter
Yes.
countries, like
The
Qatar,
only
and I
time
think
the
Brazil
only
has
time
hosted.
the
And
only time it wasn't was when it was in Qatar because it was like actually like not as hot as like the summer.
okay,
So yeah, but for the most part, yes, you're right. So yeah, that is going to be what is happening this week. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Let us know all your thoughts on what we've talked about today. There's a lot of crazy stuff from gambling to All-Star games to different things happening in
championships.
the championships. All I can say is it involves a lot of dough and gambling. But you're gambling on your listen. You are gambling on your thought to whether or not to comment down below. That was a terrible joke. Anyways, I hope you. I'm so sorry.
You've had
I
some
hope
better ones, sir.
I have. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you love watching this, click that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you love listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and please share with your friends and family. Let us know. Also, I do know as you're listening to this, for some reason, the last three episodes have like not really gone up on Spotify. I don't know what's going on with Spotify's like sub, thing you put it in. So those will be going up this week because I've realized they're not up there. So that will be getting amended as well this week. So just be patient with us on that. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, for listening, and I hope you have a great time. Stay cool out there in this summer heat, and also avoid the storms if you can. And until next time, we'll see ya.